Welcome to another video, a video where we are learning from mistakes, especially my mistakes. And the theme of today's video is exchange sacrifice, because we club players, we very often don't know when such an exchange sacrifice is good, when it is bad. So I want to show you one of my games when I successfully sacrifice an exchange, and I will try to explain to you my thinking process behind it. So the game today is a game I played in 2017 in Birmingham, and my opponent playing white was Mark Riley. The game started as the Sicilian Defence e4 c5, and I was hoping at the time to play the Najdorf. I was a big fan of the Najdorf variation of the Sicilian. Unfortunately, my opponent confused me by playing knight c3 on the second move. Now the problem is that I have to play the move g6, because against the closed Sicilian, which is what it is looking like it will be, my setup was based on the fianchetto of this bishop. However, after the move knight f3, bishop g7, and then d4, we have open Sicilian after all, but it's no longer the Najdorf because I have fianchettoed my bishop. Actually, it will be a dragon Sicilian, which in 2017 I knew very little about. So you can see that by employing a clever move order, my opponent already forced me to play a variation that I wasn't very familiar with. But let's have a look further. C takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c6, bishop e3, d6, f3. So what we have on the board is the most aggressive setup against the dragon. It is so-called Yugoslav attack. So white will typically castle queenside and then push those pawns on the king side. It's a very dangerous attack. Well, Bobby Fischer used to say that it's a checkmate or a win by force for white. It is not, but it is still extremely risky for black to play it against it. Okay, knight f6, bishop c4. This move aims to control the d5 square and prevents any d5 ideas by black. Bishop d7, queen d2, preparing to castle queenside and also setting up this nice battery of the queen and the bishop. Castles, castles, rook c8. Okay, so now I'm actually developing with a tempo, developing the rook with a tempo, because now this bishop is hanging if my knight move anywhere. So it's a nice discovery. That is why prophylactic move bishop b3. And now what I really should have played is take on d4, or maybe put the knight on e5 and then jump on c4. Anyway, I should be aiming for exchanges of the pieces, because this weakens the power of white's attack. Instead, what I played is knight a5, going after this bishop here, but that was not a very good move. King b1, a nice precaution, prophylactic move, and now the aforementioned exchange of the knight for the bishop. White took back with the knight. Again, probably not the most accurate. Typically, white would take with this pawn, keeping the strong knight in the center, and the pawns, if they were like this, are still very, very strong, and the king would be in no danger. Okay, after the knight capture, I played the move a5. I'm trying to harass this knight by pushing my pawn, and also I'm trying to launch an attack on the queen side myself with those a and b pawns. White plays the move e5, trying to open up the center and creating some dangerous threats, because if you have a look, this bishop is protected by the knight. And if the knight has to go anywhere, then this might be dangerous. We'll see it later. Okay, d takes e5. I accepted the pawn sacrifice by white. And now the move queen f2. And this is the critical moment of the game. There is only one good move for black, but finding it was not easy for me. First of all, let's see what the problems are for black. Well, white is threatening to put the bishop on b6, attacking the queen. And the queen has few good squares. Well, actually, it can only go here. That's one problem. Then there's another problem that this bishop is totally pinned along the d file. Now, white's knights may also jump here, here, and here, and the knight from there may also go to b6 later on, again putting pressure on this bishop. It's very dangerous. I really was in trouble. We can easily imagine what would happen, for example, after a move like queen c7, trying to step out of this pin. Well, white can play bishop b6, and I'm really in trouble. If I now move my queen, say here, then the knight can come. You know, this pawn is falling. Black is in real trouble. So at this point, I started considering, what should I do? And the move that I have found is a typical exchange sacrifice in the Sicilian, of course, but you know, as a club player, I was always very scared of playing sacrifices, especially exchange sacrifices. The reason for it is that I have lost so many games when I was down the exchange, and I just basically had nothing to do. So I was very concerned. I thought, well, I give up my exchange, I give up my rook for the knight, and then what? So here I wanted to share with you what I have over the years, from my experience as a club player, playing in different tournaments, what I have established. So this usually works for me. If something similar works for you, please let me know in the comments. Or maybe you have other ways of trying to figure out what to do in such situations. So if you can get at least two tangible things in return for the exchange sacrifice, then do it. And I figure out that's the case here. So I played rook takes c3, pawn takes c3, and now queen c7. Probably the move queen c8 was even better, but queen c7 allows me to, well, put some pressure here, and now if white ever plays bishop b6, I can just take the pawn on c3, and now I am taking over the initiative in this game. So this is one tangible thing that I have. Just 2 moves ago, it was white who was putting all the pressure on me, controlling the game. Now it is black who is actually controlling the game. So one tangible thing, the initiative and the control of the game. The second thing is quite obvious. I have completely destroyed the pawn structure in front of white's king. Maybe there are some other advantages. Please let me know if you see them. But this told me I should play it, so I did. Now white played bishop b6 as he intended, and now queen takes c3, bishop takes a5, queen c4. You can see that even though I am down an exchange, I have a very nice potential of attack on the white's king. So actually, I have now the initiative. I have the advantage, despite being down material. White saw all of this and decided that the best course of action is to try to exchange the queens, which is very pragmatic, very reasonable. Because when you think about it, if we exchange queens, my attack fizzles out, and we will be going to an endgame with me being exchanged down. So probably that would be a lost endgame. So I didn't do it. I played queen a4. Well, white insists he wants now to bring the queen to b4 to try to force the exchange of queens again. Rook c8. That was the last piece that wasn't yet taking part in the attack. And now white is a little bit inconsistent. He felt the need to do something active and played the move g4. Typical idea in the dragon in this type of a position, but it's too late. My attack is already much stronger and faster. Bishop e6, as indicated before, I want to activate this bishop. Also, please notice that this bishop was in maybe some danger once this knight has to go from f6. Maybe that bishop would be under threat. So it's a good prophylactic move, and it's a very active move as well, including the bishop more in the attack. So now queen b4. Again, white, as mentioned, wants to trade those queens. Queen c6, and now white decided to exchange a pair of rooks. Rook takes d8 check, rook takes d8, bishop d8, and now knight d5. Very good move, attacking the queen, so it's a move with tempo, and also bringing this piece to a beautiful square, threatening to jump on c3, and also the bishop is now well, has a better prospects of entering the game. Queen a5. Now white tries to create some threats to my king on the back rank. So I prevented this. I played b6. Now my queen controls the a8 square, so black cannot go there. I have also broken down the communication between the bishop and the queen. White plays queen a7. Well, couldn't go to a8, went to a7 instead. And now I played a move that probably wasn't necessary. I should have played knight c3 immediately, but I played the move h6 just to give a little room for my king and stop all the back rank nonsense forever. Okay, bishop takes e7, white took a pawn, and now how do I activate this bishop? This bishop really wants to take part in the game. e4, pawn sacrifice. But for the price of this pawn, I open up the bishop, which is really powerful now. So again, it's another sacrifice in this game, little sacrifice of a pawn. But same principles that I try to always work with is, do I get something tangible in return for the sacrifice material? And in this position, I definitely do. F takes e4. Now knight jumps on c3 with check. The king has to go to c1. Should the king go anywhere else, then this discovered check from the bishop is deadly, because the knight would then capture the queen. So the king goes to c1. I take the pawn on e4, so I took the pawn back. And now I'm threatening the rook, so this is another move with a gain of tempo. Rook goes to f1, and now a little move that is probably unnecessary, just swapping this knight. My thinking was that, you know, the knight is the only defender of the king, so it's good to get rid of it, but that was absolutely not necessary. A takes b3, and now queen e3 check, and white resigned. The reason is that the king has to go to b2, and then knight b5 is a discovered check with a double attack, with the attack on the queen. So white will lose the queen on the next move and will be checkmated pretty quickly. So that's the end of this game. So what's the lesson? What I wanted really to show you is I wanted to share with you my personal experience. I'm always very scared of sacrificing material, especially in longer games, over the board games. But there is something that helps me in such situation. I hope it will help you as well. Can you get something tangible in return for the sacrifice material? If you can get at least two of those things, go ahead. Don't be shy. Try to attack sacrificing material. If you have some suggestions, some recommendations, what helps you to make such decisions, please let me know in the comments below. And for now, thanks for watching, and see you next time.